Okay, boys and girls, I'm back with another math video. This week, we're going to focus on creating cluster problems to solve 2 by 2 digit multiplication. We're going to look at creating story problems for those word problems and then breaking them down and solving them. So this is a Google slide. This assignment is meant to last for 2 days because I put several problems in. And we're going to look at a helper page. I created a helper page for you so that you can always refer to it if you need help, and so you can see what an example would look like. So when you write story problems, let's start with that, because last week when I looked at a lot of story problems, one of the things that you have to remember when you're multiplying is that you're talking about groups of numbers. So I'm going to focus on this yellow box here. So let's say the example expression is 32 times 18. Actually, let's put an equal sign here because this actually should be an equation. So let me just fix that and put an equal sign. There we go. And when you think of a story problem, the basic way to think of it is think of a group. Okay. Boxes, containers. People can be groups too. Days of the week. So 32 boxes. That was my group. I have 32 boxes of something. Now, those 32 boxes are going to have something inside of it. And let's keep it simple. One thing. Think of objects that are in that group. Juice pouches. 18 juice pouches. So I have 32 boxes, and each box has 18 juice pouches. And I use the word each because, remember, it's multiplication. So you always want to end with a question that asks for the total number of objects. When you're multiplying, you're looking for the total of something. Okay? So when I write this story problem, I'm going to say something like this. I have 32 boxes of juice pouches. Okay? Because I'm talking about juice pouches, and they're in boxes. There's 32 boxes of them. There are 18 juice pouches. This should be juice in each box. So now I've told you how many come in the group. 18 juice pouches in each box. Now I end with a question that asks for the total. How many juice pouches in all? I'm asking for the total number of objects. Okay, I already know I have 32 boxes, so I'm not counting that. And I know I have 18 juice pouches in each box. What I'm looking for is the total number of juice pouches. So that's my story problem. For each of these problems, you have to create a story problem. Now, let me explain the cluster problems, because now, last week we used arrays. Well, now we're going to use another strategy where we're not using arrays, but we're using a method of multiplying by stretching out these numbers into places, similar to what you did last week with the arrays. So what I've done here is taken the original equation, 32 times 18, and in the first set of parentheses, I split the 32 into 30 plus 2. So all the 10s are in red, and all the 1s are in blue, to kind of break that down for you. See that? And then 18 I split into 10 plus 8, because that 1 is actually 10, and that 8 is equal to 8. So when I split this up, I'm still multiplying 32 times 18, except I'm thinking of the 32 as 30 plus 2 and multiplying by 10 plus 8. Now, when you break up and create your cluster are these 4 equations here. There's a method to doing it. See the arrows? See this first arrow right here? I'm going to try to trace it. I multiply 30 times 10. I multiply the 10s first. 30 times 10 is 300. Then I have another set of arrows here. This arrow 30 times 8. I have to multiply the 30 times the 10 and the 30 times the 8. This 30 gets multiplied by the 10 and by the 8 on the other side. So 30 times 8 is 240, because I know 8 times 3 is 24. Then this 2 multiplies by 10. 2 times 10 and then you multiply the 2 times the 8, which is 16. So when you're done, you should have 4 cluster problems, 4 equations. And then you add up the products, 300, 240, 20, and 16. And you have to show this, boys and girls. You must show this step. And then if you need to do the math on paper somewhere, that's fine. But you add it up and you get 576. And then you type your answer, 576 juice pouches. So remember to label your answer. You have to do all those steps, okay, to show your work. All right, so let's try one. And it says here on the next slide, write a story problem for the equation, then use the strategy to solve. Refer to the helper slide on Refer to the helper page on slide 2, which is the one that we just saw. That's the helper slide. Watch this video, my video, also for help. So I'm going to do this one with you. I'm going to think of a story problem. So the first step is what? Think of a group. Okay. Pages. I read a book for 17 days. So that's my group. 17 days is the group. Every day is a group. Each day, or you can even say every day. Each day, I read 46 pages. I'm a very avid reader. Now I enter the question. How many pages did I read? And end of the question. Always end with a question. So let's read it again. I read a book for 17 days. That's my number of groups. 17 groups, 17 days. Each day I read 46 pages. Now the pages go into the days. I read 46 pages on Monday, Tuesday, 17 times, 17 days. How many pages did I read? All right, there's my story problem. Short and sweet. Now, for each slide, I made these little helpers. To type your equations, just click anywhere in the box. See what I did? If I'm here, you can click up here, but then it gets a little tricky. So just click underneath this, and your cursor comes up. So I'm going to use the arrows here. So this arrow says to multiply 40 times 10. So I'm going to do that. 40 times 10 equals what? Well, I know 4 times 1 is 4, and I have 2 zeros, so it's 400. Now remember, I have to have 4 equations. Then I'm going to take that same 40 and trace that arrow, and it multiplies to 7. So you have 40 times 7. Well, I know 4 times 7 is 28, so it's 280. Hit enter. Now I have my 6. 6 times 10. Well, I know 6 times 10 is 60. And you notice that almost all the equations have zeros in it except for the last one. And the last one are my 2 smallest factors, the ones in blue, 6 times 7. That equals 42. And then I'll add 400 plus 280 plus 60 plus 42. And then you have to add it on paper or in your head. Well, 680 plus 60 is 740. And 740 plus 42 is 782. And I would double check that somewhere. And then I would write 782 pages. You have to answer your question. So you have to have all these steps, okay? On the next slides, you'll see I've given you some help. I set that up for you on all the rest of the slides. Okay? Now you're going to have 2 days to complete this, so I would do half one day and half the other. And then I would check my work before I submit it. But always go back to the helper slide here if you need help and watch this video to follow the steps. Okay, boys and girls, I will see you soon. Bye.